Hi, and welcome to Serenity Cove Crafts. I'm so excited to be presenting this first project tutorial. And we're going to make a cute little hot dog today. Now, just to save time, I've already done the knitting. So what I did is I took this Bernat Premium, let's see what color it is, burlap. And on my 22 pin machine, I knitted 60 rows. And once I did that, I cinched both ends. I doubled the work, tied it off. Now this is the step that I'm at right now. So what I'm going to do here is I've got some yarn. I'm going to make the drawstring. So the way I like to make a drawstring is I'll like picking up 2 stitches at a time. And I'm going to be going all the way around. So I'm skipping, I'm going over one, and then I'm picking up 2, going over and then picking up the next 2, and so on. Just going around. Make sure you don't pull too tight or too hard. You don't want this end to come out on you. Now, I've got the drawstring. I'm just going to pull it tight. Let's give her a tie. All right, tighten that up. We're going to knot it. And we are going to hide these ends inside the work. So there we go. We've got the outside of the hot dog bun. Just going to put this aside. Now with this yarn, this is going to be the wiener inside. So what I've done is on my 22 pin machine, I have knit 30 rows. I've cast off. I've closed one end. I did not hide the end into the work yet because I'm not sure. I might use this to sew it onto the hot dog bun. And I've left the other end open. Now at this point we're going to add some safety eyes. Now if you're good with a needle and thread, you can just embroider little circles for the eyes. I have these adorable little eyes in my, see if I can get them up here, in my little stash. So it's my first time using them, so we'll give it a try. I figure that I am going to insert these eyes maybe about an inch. We'll go, yeah, I'll go just a little over an inch down. Now let's see, where do we want to put these apart? We can go maybe about an inch. I'm just gonna lower this a tiny bit. That looks better. All right, so I've got the eyes on. So now I'm going to go ahead and cinch this end. And I'm going to tie it off. Now, if you're enjoying my tutorials, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give me a like. I like to ensure that everything's really secure. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I think this is the first time I've actually gotten the camera angle pretty good. Oh my goodness gracious. Just give me a big learning curve, people. I'm trying. Oh, and I went and cut that yarn. Okay, so I guess we're going to be, yeah, hiding the yarn tails then. Why don't we go ahead for that? My mindlessness made the decision for me. It's all right. Just go ahead. I'll hide this end. So what I'm going to do here is we're just going to fold the hot dog over onto itself, like so. Hold that nice and tight. And I'm just going to grab a couple stitches right from this side. And a couple over here. And just as you're going along, just make sure that you just keep checking it, checking that it's not unraveling here on you. Fold it down. If you like using stitch markers, you'd probably want to pin that down. And I'll meet you when I get back, when I get done to the end here. All right, I'm back and I've hit the end here of the hot dogs. Now, I forgot to mention that this is mattress stitching. So when I get to the end, just kind of pull it tight like this. And look, your stitches, they kind of all blend in together. All right. Oh, I think that's looking cute. What I'm just going to do is I'm just going to take, let me just knot this here a bit. I was thinking of taking the tail ends of the hot dog here and tying them just to the end of the bun, just to secure it here. And the other end, I'm going to knot it as well. Okay, so what I want to do now is, yeah, next time I would put the eyes a little closer together, but he's still cute. Now I'm going to take this long end here and I'm going to mattress stitch the hot dog into the bun. It's done the same way. The only difference is we won't have to knot off at this end because we already did that. So let's see, I found, so I like to hold my stitches with some needles here. And then that way I know I'm going exactly where I want to go. You can see that. I'm trying to keep my head out of the shot. Oh my goodness. There we go. There we go. I'm going to move this one down to here once I reach that end. So I am just going to, I'm not going to sew him right here. I'm going to bring the needle through and start the sewing. Start the sewing right here, just right over here. So now that I know where I'm going with that, I'm going to move this marker. I call it a stitch marker. It's marking my stitch, so it's a stitch marker. Okay. And we just continue on till we hit about here. So I am just going to pause and I will be back. I'm going to do the same thing on both ends. So I've sewn around here, and I've pulled the yarn so that the mattress stitch will hold on tight. And I'm just going to pull this needle out of here. I'm going to go 2 more stitches here. And let's give this a nice pull. Ooh, that's looking good. All right, so we're gonna tie this off. Just gonna grab a couple stitches here. Just gonna hide this inside. You could tie it off a couple times if you want. Right? I think I would like to give him a little bit of a smile. So just move these over. I'm just grabbing just a length of black yarn. This is from my stash. I believe it's Bernat. So what I'm going to do now is Give them a little smile right around here. So we're going to go in. You want to go in on the side. It's going to be a little crooked. There we go. And don't pull it all the way through. Leave some hanging out. We're going to go over. Let's see, that's kind of right where the white is. About like that. We're going to go through. I think I'm just actually going to go through the one time. So what I want to do now is take this needle, bring it back through the same hole that I came in through. Right. What you do is with your finger, just kind of guide the yarn. There we go. Now, since actually this is not necessary, but what I like to do, I will take a little bit of, I have this Aleene's Fabric Fusion glue. I'm just going to put a tiny bit on one of these spare needles that I have. Over my lifetime, I've purchased so many Sentro machines that I have tons of these little needles. I'm just going to dry this off so it doesn't get stuck on for me. And then once that dries, that will be stuck on that. You don't have to do that, but I just find it gives it that little bit more security. I'll pull it down into a smile. There we go. It's a happy hot dog. Right. So I'm just going to tie off the ends. Okay, so we're going to go in through the exact same hole. Doesn't matter where you come out. So we are going to cut this off now. All right. Oh, look at that. He's coming along. He's coming along. So what I'm going to do now is I want to put some ketchup. And what I need to do is I want to make an I-cord so I can do a stream of, I'll do ketchup. I will show you how to do just an I-cord, a 3-stitch I-cord on a knitting machine. And then the good thing about using the knitting machine is that you can use the thicker yarns that you absolutely cannot use in your I-cord makers. So just bear with me for a second. I will be right back with my machine. Hi, I'm back. I'm back to teach you how to make an I-cord, just like that, on your Sentro or Addi knitting machine. Give yourself some yarn length here. The color that I'm using here is just Bernat Premium, and it's called red. What we're going to do is we're going to cast on to 3 needles. Casting on the white one by hooking the yarn under, and with the crank you start turning it. The second one we go behind. Third one we go in front. Now that's all. So we're just going to hold on to the yarn in our hands, and we are going to crank. Well, you're leaving it on tube. You're leaving the setting on tube because we're going to be cranking all the way around. If you don't have an I-cord maker, I mean, this is just one way of doing it. So I'm just going to crank all the way around here till I get back over here to the first one. Now you're going to take the yarn, you're going to go behind the needles, and you're going to feed it under the first, under the second, and under the third. What you want to do is you need to make sure that these stitches here, they're dropping down. Otherwise, the 2 yarn pieces will get tangled, and you might end up having a couple of stitches on one needle. And once we've done this, we're just going around. And in back, so go underneath the white one, the next one. You always have to keep an eye on, this one is the one that gives me the most trouble, is the last one. So go under, just make sure that that yarn's dropping. And going to keep on going like that. Give this yarn tail a little tug. So feel free to pause if you're going to try this technique. Just pause. I'm trying not to get my hand in the way. Pause the video while you crank away at your own speed. Oops. Right. Down. And what you're probably noticing here is that there are these strands of yarn that are going across. Don't worry about those. Just pull on the tail end and it closes up. Okay. And I usually do that as I'm going along. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pause this until I get down to the length that I want. So you just keep going and I'll show you how to cast off. Hi, I'm back. Just continuing on with this. So what I've done is I'm just pulling on the tail end here just to secure up those strands. Just going to cut some of the yarn. And to cast off, what we're going to do, we're just going to hold the yarn. Oh no, can you see me? I'm sorry, I turned this. I twisted it. So just going to hold, there you go. Hold the yarn over here so it's not in your way. And we're going to continue cranking in this direction till we get over here. Right. There we go. Now we are going to start, sorry, just turning this so you can see it, picking the stitches up. All right, so there I have it, and look, it's nice and tight now. So at this point, I'm just going to sew it onto the hot dog. I'm going to start with the end piece. This is the shorter end, so I'll go with that end. Let's see, where are we going to want our hot dog? Okay, I'm going to start right down here. Just going to pull that through. Right, try not to get my hands in the way here. Just going to tie this off. Right. We will be going in here. Second. Okay, let me see where I'd like my catch-up to go. I think maybe something like that. So I'm just going to take my needle, just going to go in, and then just grab some of the yarn here from your red I-cord. Now alternatively, if you can't seem to get the technique down and you don't have an I-cord maker, you can always take a few strands of yarn together and maybe braid them. And then you could have a braid of catch-up. Or you could take a pipe cleaner. You can wrap your yarn all the way around the pipe cleaner, securing the ends with glue. And then you just kind of turn your pipe cleaner around, bend it into shape, and stick it onto, I would probably use a tiny bit of hot glue to stick it onto the hot dog. So there are some alternatives for you. So I'm going to, let's see, take it to about here. Let's see, I'm just going to go in like this, knot it. All right, so I'm just going to down like that. And I'm going to do the same thing as we did over here. I'm going to go underneath, just pick a spot, grab some of the yarn from there, and then just keep going. I'm going to get my needle to come up over this end here. And I think I'm going to call that good enough. Okay, just call that quits right there. And I'm just going to hide the yarn over here. Okay. Well, how's that looking? Do you like? Let me just grab some of this green. And what we can do is add a little bit of specks of green to it, and that can look like either chopped pickles or some relish. I'm going to come on over here, come on in. So we're going to embroider like we did on for the mouth. So I'm just going to go in somewhere here. Okay. And I am just going to go over one stitch. And then I'm going to move down, let's see, maybe over here. So you see, look, you've got a green speck. All right, so I'm going on to my very last piece of green. I'm going to put it right here, right over here by the face. Now you take your needle, come on out the exact same spot you went in. All right, hello, hello. Here we are. And I'll tie this. All right. So there we have it. Oh my goodness. I think he's so stinking cute. But I hope you enjoyed your stay with me, your little time. And yeah, just trying to get you away from reality for a little bit. And now you can go back to your real world. And I hope you have a very happy day. Thanks for joining me.